This is an official World War II special episode. Rafe, welcome to my channel. So this week we're going full throttle with a tale of adventure. Friendship and love from the skies of World War II. We're talking aerial battles, undercover missions, and a whole lot of heart-pounding action. Back in 1923, down in Tennessee, little Rafe and Danny were fooling around with an old broken biplane, pretending to be brave soldiers from World War I. The boys watched in awe as Rafe's father soared his real plane over the farm like a hero in the sky. But once the man landed, the boys couldn't resist sneaking inside the cockpit. That's when disaster struck. They accidentally switched it on. The machine roared to life, rolling out of control across the field. Panic gripped them, but by sheer luck, they managed to stop the plane before it was too late. When they returned, the mood turned ugly. Danny's father stormed in, yanked his son away, and struck him for spending time with Rafe, sneering that he was a stupid boy who can't read. Furious, Rafe snatched up an old propeller and swung it at the man, calling him a dirty German. But instead of fighting back, the father's anger turned into a chilling confession. He had fought the Germans in the war and swore he never wanted anyone to see the horrors he had witnessed. Then he walked away, leaving tension in the air. Danny quickly turned to Rafe, whispering that he was his best friend before running after his father. Fast forward to 1941. World War II is raging, and Rafe and Danny have become first lieutenants in the Air Force. They love showing off their wild flying tricks, impressing their squad mates, but constantly testing the patience of Major Doolittle. One afternoon, Rafe's life changed forever. Doolittle revealed that he'd been accepted into the legendary British Eagle Squadron. That meant one choice: stay in the U.S. Air Force or head straight into the fire in London. Rafe asked for advice, and Doolittle casually said he'd pick London. Later, Rafe twisted the truth. He told Danny that Doolittle was sending him there, hiding the fact that it was actually his own decision. Danny was crushed, feeling betrayed, because all he ever wanted was to fight side by side with his best friend, the only man he trusted to cover his back. Meanwhile, on a train bound for New York, Evelyn and her group of friends talked about life as military nurses. Evelyn couldn't keep a secret. She admitted she had already fallen for Rafe just 4 weeks earlier, calling it the most romantic days of her life. Their story began during an eye exam, where it became clear that Rafe couldn't read well because of dyslexia. But his eyesight was otherwise perfect, so Evelyn let him pass. Later, while giving him a shot, they opened up about their fathers, both veterans. Rafe kept turning the charm on until suddenly his body went weak. That's when Evelyn realized the truth. He had stolen another soldier's chart just to see her again. Because of that, he ended up getting the same shot twice and passed out cold, breaking his nose on the floor. That night, with his nose bandaged, Rafe stood outside the hospital, waiting for Evelyn, holding champagne as if nothing could stop him. She patched him up and sparks flew. The two shared their very first kiss. Weeks later, at the train station, Rafe surprised Evelyn with a delicate origami bird and introduced her to his buddies, who immediately paired off with the other nurses to hit a club. But while the soldiers stumbled through awkward flirting, Rafe and Evelyn slipped away. They stole a police boat, headed for a luxury cruise ship, and kissed on the rising platform until they accidentally hit the lever and plunged straight into the water. Later that night, in a quiet hotel room, Rafe finally revealed the truth. He had volunteered for London. He swore he'd come back for Evelyn and begged her not to see him off at the train station. She gave him her scarf as a keepsake, her heart heavy with worry. The next day, Danny was the one who saw him off, but Evelyn rushed there too, arriving just in time for Rafe to spot her from the train window, a fleeting goodbye that broke her heart. As the war spread like wildfire, Rafe was handed a battered plane riddled with bullet holes and bloodstains from the last pilot, who barely escaped alive. Back in America, the president urged stronger support for Europe, while across the Pacific, Japan plotted the destruction of the U.S. fleet at Pearl Harbor. Evelyn's nursing unit and Danny's squadron were stationed there, while Rafe fought desperately in Britain. Rafe wrote letter after letter to Evelyn, confessing how lonely it was to make friends when men were dying every day. Yet he bragged with pride that under his lead, his squad had never lost a battle. But then came the nightmare. In a fierce dogfight, Rafe's plane was struck from behind. Oil gushed, flames spread, and the canopy jammed shut. He smashed the glass to escape, but before he could leap, another blast sent the plane spiraling into the sea. Back in Pearl Harbor, the unthinkable news arrived: Rafe was dead. Danny broke the news to Evelyn, who collapsed in grief, and together they mourned the loss. That night, the nurses and soldiers raised a final toast to their fallen friend. Just days later, Evelyn received Rafe's last letters, and reading his words shattered her all over again. Months slipped by, and grief slowly turned into something else. Evelyn and Danny grew closer, clinging to each other for comfort until friendship deepened into forbidden love. Evelyn fought her feelings at first, but her heart gave in. Then came the twist of fate. One night at the hospital, Evelyn froze in shock. Standing before her was Rafe, alive. He had survived, saved by a French fishing boat, and spent months recovering in Europe. Tears streamed down Evelyn's face. She was torn between joy and guilt. Rafe, realizing she and Danny had fallen in love, felt nothing but betrayal. The reunion exploded into a violent fight between the two friends, fists flying, hearts broken. But before they could repair the damage, history itself came crashing down. The morning of December 7, 1941. Pearl Harbor was under attack. Japanese planes screamed across the sky, unleashing bullets and bombs in a storm of destruction. Ships burst into flames, planes were blown to pieces, and soldiers were slaughtered where they stood. Inside the chaos, Evelyn and her fellow nurses fought to save lives as the hospital overflowed with the wounded. Meanwhile, Rafe and Danny raced to find working planes. Against impossible odds, they got airborne and fought together again, shooting down enemy aircraft with their unmatched teamwork. Though their courage saved many lives, the attack left Pearl Harbor in ruins. America declared war, and soon after, Rafe and Danny joined Doolittle's daring secret mission to bomb Tokyo. But before they left, Evelyn revealed a devastating truth. She was pregnant with Danny's child. Though she still loved Rafe deep inside, her future was tied to Danny. On the mission, Rafe and Danny flew side by side, their brotherhood restored in the fire of war. But fate was cruel. During a crash landing in China, they were ambushed. Gunfire erupted, and Danny was mortally wounded. With his dying breath, he begged Rafe to raise his child. Rafe clutched him in despair as his best friend slipped away forever. The survivors were rescued by Chinese forces, and Rafe returned home with Danny's body. Evelyn, heartbroken but grateful, welcomed him back. Soon after, she gave birth to a son she named Danny. From that day on, Rafe honored his friend's memory, raising the boy as his own and taking him flying just like he once did with his best friend. And that's our show, folks. What did you think? Loved it? Let us know your thoughts below. And don't forget to subscribe for more tales of adventure, friendship, and love from the skies of World War II. Until next time, keep soaring high.